Hi, welcome to the Vintage Bubblegum Pod. I'm your host, Cal, and on this podcast, we talk about boy bands, we talk about girl groups, we talk about pop music from the late 90s and the early 2000s. It's a genre I've been passionate about for more than half my life, and I can't wait to share in that passion with all of you. Today, to start off the episode, I would like to acknowledge the passing of One Direction member Liam Payne. We're not going to cover that that era of boy band on this podcast particularly, but he was part of the genre. One Direction was huge when they came out. They were everywhere. So I just have to acknowledge his contributions to the genre at large, pop culture in general, music in general. Is very sad. 31 is like way too young for anybody to die. And it's just super tragic, and I just wanted to acknowledge his memory and his contributions to the genre. I'm very sorry to all the One Direction fans. I can only empathize with what you must be feeling. There's no words. I'm sorry. So, R.I.P. Liam. You will be very, very missed. Let's continue with today's episode. Today we are talking about the girl group Nobody's Angel. But first of all, I want to ask, are you guys out there a fan of Delicious Flavor? Come on, son. I'm talking about the TV show Psych. I love Psych. It is a series that aired on the USA Network. I don't even know if that's still a network. It had 8 seasons, 3 movies, hoping for a 4th one. Psych was like a huge comfort show to me for many, many years. It's the reason I got obsessed with Twin Peaks. And that's like one of my favorite things in the entire universe is Twin Peaks. I even met Dana Ashbrook a couple years ago at the Mahoning Drive-In, but that's beside the point. I love Psych. And one of my favorite things about Psych, besides all of it and everyone who's in it, it introduced me to James Rodriguez, Dule Hill, we loved from Holes already. That was already there. Jimmy Simpson introduced me to him. He's hilarious. Love him. And it also, I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, oh my God, that's the girl from Model Behavior, Maggie Lawson, who plays the badass Juliet O'Hara on Psych. She was in that Disney movie, Model Behavior, and besides being one of the most gorgeous women I've ever seen, she's fantastic in everything she does. And Model Behavior, I'm bringing it up, I swear, this is related. I'm not just going to gush about Psych and Maggie. But Model Behavior was what do they call it? They used to call them The Wonderful World of Disney. And it was a movie that aired on ABC on like a Friday or Saturday night. And then was exported to the Disney Channel and played ad nauseum. It was like the first movie Justin Timberlake was ever in. It introduced the world to the adorable Maggie Lawson. And it also helped introduce the world to who we're talking about today, Nobody's Angel. So Nobody's Angel was a girl group formed in 1999 with 4 ladies by the name of Amy Sue Harding, Sarah Smith, Stacey Harper, and Alitza Navarro. They became friends through acting auditions. They bonded over these auditions and all of the struggles that auditioning brings. And they all discovered that they also have a love of music and singing and dancing. And they decided one day, hey, let's be a group. So the name Nobody's Angel came from member Stacey Harper's favorite TV show, The Charlie's Angels. And I guess they decided they weren't Charlie's Angels. They were just angels. They were Nobody's Angels. And they were signed to the Disney-owned record label Hollywood Records. And as we talked about with Youngstown, who were also on the Hollywood record label, if you didn't watch the Youngstown episode, they were also on the same label. And their connection to the Hollywood Records label is what would get them involved in many, many Disney-related projects. Watching a couple of interviews with the girls, it seems like they talk a lot about a record label puts out money to promote their group, and for Hollywood Records, they were also intertwined with the whole Disney family. So in order to put the name out for them, they would always kind of stick them and Disney properties, which we'll talk about later. So their first, Nobody's Angel's first single was a track called If You Want to Dance, and this track is fire. You can't argue with it. It's exactly when I love girl groups and boy bands. I love this entire genre. But literally when I think about girl groups, like Nobody's Angel is like right the first one of the first things that pop into my head besides like the Spice Girls, because If You Want to Dance is just the epitome of what a girl group should be. Like everything about it is absolute perfection, from the clothes, the attitudes, the music, the lyrics, the dancing, all of it is just perfection. It's 100% the model standard of what a girl group should be, in my personal opinion. If You Want to Dance was released in November of 1999, and Disney, like I said, would do its damnedest to try to bring this group notoriety. I remember seeing the music video over and over and over and over again on the Disney Channel. I even got lost a couple weeks ago when watching old Disney Channel bumpers, and there was one that like made me smile so hard because I remembered it like so specifically. Was the Zoog channel before they switched over out of the Zoog vibe. They used to have these like Zoog chats, and Nobody's Angel was like one of these chats. I'm gonna try to find the bumper and I'm gonna put it here. But they were like, I think I attended maybe that one or one with like No Authority or In Sync or something. There was another group that I checked out one of these chats, and of course it was like the corniest softball like questions, like what's your favorite ice cream flavor, and nothing about like the actual songs or the group or like anything like that. Like, do you love touring? Yay, we love touring, like that kind of thing. But whatever, it still is like super nostalgic, and I like love to see it. It's so cute. It's just cute. Nobody's Angel is freaking cute. As fire as If You Want to Dance really is. And I also remember If You Want to downloading If You Want to Dance on Napster. And it was one of those songs that never finished downloading. It had like, it cut out like right before they started singing all your hustlers and players. It like cut off. Right, I just have that very specific memory. Napster sucked for that. Dial up was terrible. You couldn't download any of your songs. It always cut it off. If You Want to Dance, despite Hollywood Records' best efforts trying to get them involved in all kinds of things, it never really found its footing in the pop world. I think nowadays it's a little more notorious. Like I said, it's a little more like the standard of girl group that you would imagine. But back then, I think they really got lost in the shuffle of all of this influx of this music. And this came out in 2000, which the genre really kind of boomed in 97 to about 2000. And 2001 to 2004, the whole genre just kind of like died off. I think it became oversaturated very quickly. Like, even to the point that there's some girl groups and boy bands that in researching this whole podcast, I'm like discovering like, wow, I've never heard of these groups, and I thought I knew like some really obscure pop groups out there. So unfortunately, I think they just kind of got lost in the shuffle. By the time it was coming out, it was just kind of like another one of these, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, I think Nobody's Angel was a bit more unique, as I guess not as far as their music, but as far as the fact that I feel like even though they were in a major label, they were a bit more DIY. I feel like they formed themselves. They weren't formed for a purpose, like a Dream or the Spice Girls or anything like that. Like they put themselves together and sought out this career, and that's unique within this whole genre, really. Like there's so many groups that were put together, manufactured for a purpose, to borrow a phrase from Twin Peaks. So it is unfortunate because I feel like they definitely had a bit more drive, determination, focus, desire to do this than maybe somebody who just auditioned for a group. That's just my opinion. So, If You Want to Dance peaked at number 168 on the Billboard, which out of a top 200, that's not super great. They did reach number 39 on the Billboard dance charts, and they remained there for 7 weeks, so that's pretty good. I like to give a little bit more information and background about these songs, but I find it kind of difficult to find this information. There isn't even most of these songs, at least the singles, have their own Wikipedia page with some extra information, but there really isn't much of anything for this song. There isn't a wiki page at all. I mean, like I said, Nobody's Angel, so they wrote all of their lyrics. They choreographed all of their own dances, which is super impressive. So the fact that they sort of got generalized instead of taken as an individual project was kind of went against their ultimate goal to be recognized and noticed and to sell records. They did open for AJ McLean from the Backstreet Boys. They had a couple dates with Britney, and they headlined the Polaroid iZone camera tour, which was back in the day when brands would host tours on the backs of products, promote products with music, which to kids, which kind of genius. I don't know how well those tours went, and I really couldn't find anything else about the Polaroid iZone tour because I really would have liked to know who else was on that bill. I had an iZone camera, just a side note. It was a Hello Kitty iZone camera, and I took pictures of my friends and my pets, and then I never got a refill of the film. So I tried to find one of these pictures, but I know I have them somewhere. I just couldn't find it. Nobody's Angel really busted their asses, though. I mean, like I said, they wrote all their lyrics, they choreographed all their dance moves, and they really had their hands in a lot of rumbling ideas. But unfortunately for them, these ideas never really came to fruition at all. Like I said, they were in the movie Model Behavior. The whole, I guess it was the last scene. I haven't seen that movie in a while. I think I'm going to watch it this week and do that next week. It was their second single, I Can't Help Myself. And this song is probably, I don't know if I would say it's more well-known than If You Want to Dance, but they're probably equally in the girl group's history because they were also featured on a full episode of Boy Meets World, doing this song. It's the episode where Sean and Corey end up at a truck stop and the girls are waitresses there and they perform the song for them, which is one of those early 2000s. I mean, it still happens. It just happened on Tulsa King. They had that belly roll. They had him recording a song on the episode, and it was super cringe and weird. This is the same idea. They just were oh, we'll just perform for you, and just out of nowhere they just start performing at this truck stop for all of these truckers. It's very strange, but apparently there was a plan for that whole thing. Nobody's Angel was supposed to get a Marc Jacobs spin-off show from that episode. That never happened. And then April Kelly, who was also the co-creator of Boy Meets World, also tried to get them a TV show for their second album that never came out, and this TV show never came to fruition either for them. And that's pretty disappointing because in a different timeline, in a different life, I would have loved to have seen this whole show, about a girl group trying to make it a serialized show about it. That would have been unique. That would have been something different. It wasn't a reality show like what Dream was on. It was its own fictionalized version of this group. I would have loved to see it. And even in that episode, they didn't even tell the name of the group. They didn't say we're Nobody's Angel. It's very strange. It was a very strange episode. Even Brody loves Boy Meets World, and she was watching it, and she was like, this is really cringe. It's freaking me out. Nobody's Angel lost 2 members, and then they gained 2 more members. After they got 2 more members, they recorded a second album, which there's a clip on YouTube of them performing songs from the second album, but they disbanded shortly after, and this second album never saw the light of day, unfortunately. Allie kind of described it as like the label was putting money out towards us and we weren't getting their money back, so they decided that we were no longer a viable option, and we just decided to disband from that point. They really tried, so they were also in many other things. They were on a bunch of movie soundtracks. They were on the Princess Diaries soundtrack. They were on the Wedding Planner soundtrack. They were on Disney's 102 Dalmatians. They were on the Pokemon 2000 soundtrack with the boy band Youngstown. I think that Nobody's Angel got their record label organically, by finding representation, creating a demo, finding representation. Allie has a brother. His name is Josh Keaton. And Josh Keaton was an original member of the boy band No Authority. And I tried to find information. I even watched an interview where Allie interviewed Josh. And I still don't have an answer for this, if that connection helped Nobody's Angel at all. Like, I can't imagine that it didn't. I mean, they were on 2 completely different labels, so maybe not. I don't know. But I'm just curious if already having a brother in a boy band was helpful to a girl group trying to find a record label. The Pokemon 2000 soundtrack, they did a duet with the boy band Youngstown, and if you go back and watch my Youngstown episode, I talk about this then too, but I thought it was super awesome when I went down the rabbit hole that Allie is currently still married to Youngstown member Dallas. Her and Dallas have been together since 1999, and they actually got married in 2006, shortly after Youngstown broke up. Youngstown broke up in 2005, and Nobody's Angel broke up in 2002. But together, currently, Allie and Dallas not only married, they're also partners in a project called Twinkle Time. And Twinkle Time is Allie's bilingual singer alter ego. She's a children's entertainer, and he helps write and record all of Twinkle Time's songs, and he also tours with her, and he goes by the name of DJ Dallas on these tours, and I love that. I think it's super cute. It warms my little boy band heart. I just love that connection. I had no idea, and I was like super excited to find that out, because I love love, and I love that they found love in such a hopeless place. Now I want to talk about the lyrics to If You Want to Dance. I mean, the title of the song is pretty self-explanatory, and the lyrics to the song go hand in hand with the title. It's telling you if you want to dance, just come on and do it. When the music hits you, gotta get your groove on. And I've kind of always identified with that. That's something that I totally can get down with. I think that's what attracted me to this song so much when I was 13. It was just like, you can't not feel happy while listening to this song, because it's just telling you, I don't care what you say, we're gonna go dance. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do. Come on down onto the dance floor. And of course it's a Disney group, so they can't say get your ass out on the floor, but that's what they meant. Like I said before, get your ease out on the floor. Baby, let's party till our bodies can't take no more. of course, my favorite part is when they go, "Go, daddy, daddy, go, daddy, daddy, go." And I love that this was released on cassette, and I really wish that I had a cassette. And also, this music video is amazing. Like I said earlier, when I think of a girl group from the early 2000s, this music video is what I'm talking about. I just think that it is a freaking shame that Nobody's Angel was largely glossed over by the mainstream music, that this song was never played on a radio station that wasn't Radio Disney, because this video is the epitome of this podcast. This video is bubblegum pop. It's the clothing, the background dancers, the glitter, the smiles, the positivity, the attitudes. It's like, I think back in the day, Nobody's Angel could have been taken insincerely because of this. It's very campy, it's very girly, it's very squeaky, it is super squeaky clean, and I can see how that would not have resonated with a mainstream audience. There's nothing wrong with this. There is no bad thing about this song. There's just nothing not positive that I can say. I mean, because they were so smiley all the time and they were always so peppy and happy, I can see how people would have found that insincere. I do. Like, especially now as an adult, like looking back on it, you're just like, what are you smiling about all the time? Why are you so happy? But they just were. And honestly, we kind of need stuff like that nowadays. And I mean, watching current interviews with these women, they just seem like they're just that kind of people. They're just happy and bubbly and down to earth, and like, I can't say a bad damn thing about Nobody's Angel. There's nothing bad to say. My personal thoughts and opinions about this group, I really, really wish that they would have been able to find their place in the industry. I really wish more people would have sat up and taken notice. These were younger women, you know, and it seems like they were the lucky ones, though, because the industry didn't chew them up and spit them out. I mean, they all split up and went their separate ways and tried to do their own solo thing. I mean, Allie currently is doing the Twinkle Time thing, which is so sweet and adorable. And, you know, the other girls are teachers, and good for them. Good for you. Like, I mean, I'm sure that this was like the most fun time of their lives, like to look back on and be like, wow, I did this thing. And it's not like tainted to them. It doesn't seem like it's like it has like any negative connotations in their lives whatsoever. They were like, we tried this thing, we tried really hard, it was a lot of fun when we were doing it, it didn't work out. It's just, I don't know, I can't stop smiling about Nobody's Angel. Now it's time for Brody's Corner.
Hi, people. So, this is actually one of my top 10 most favorite songs ever. So, my favorite part is where they like close up on their face and they sing. It's like the most 2000s music video thing ever. Like, they did it with Britney Spears. They did it with, who else did they do it with? Steps, Solid Harmony. That's my fifth favorite song. Go, daddy, go, daddy, daddy, go. I think that has to be like the most cringest, most 2000s girly pop music video, it's just most 2000s. I like when they say what the song is known for, when they say, hey, if you want to dance, get your body on the floor with your hot pants. Hey, come on if you want to dance, if you really want to dance. That's definitely the song, the part of the song that I know and don't have to watch the lyrics for. I like the song. The song, like I said, it's like one of my top 10 favorite music videos. Favorite songs. It's my top 10 because, one, I like how they dress. They're just girly pop. Like, it just screams, slay, girly pop, do your thing. And second is because I like their energy. I like their enthusiasm for it. What was I saying? The dance moves are definitely questionable, but they're also the most fantastic dance moves I've ever seen, ever. It's this music video and this song, you get two of both worlds. You get the best of both worlds. You get, oh my god, this is so cringe, 2000 song music video, but also like slay, girly pop. The song makes me feel energetic. Reality just pops out of my head, so that's why I like the song. Because I can't think about anything else than the song while I'm listening to the song. Why do I keep saying so weirdly? Sound. Forgot what I was saying, so yeah. Yeah, this is just a good song. It's questionable. It's fantastic. I don't know why I love it because like I don't relate to any of it. Oh, there's hot guys in the music video, so questionable, fun, cute, slay, and girly pop. Those are the 5 words that is the song. Overall, this is a good song, and I like the music video, and I like Nobody's Angels. Wait, this is like they were a band at this time.
You're coming back home with me. I want to hear them
I forget
sing.
their reaction. I really want to see. Ew! Oh my god, Corey went.
I always thought this was super awkward.
It is, because they're just like, and Corey's like.
So everyone's just sitting there going like this.
And he's just. No, I'm gonna die. This song is called I Can't Help Myself by Nobody's Angels. It's in a Boy Meets World episode. The song is catchy, but I don't think the song just does the justice either. Like you have to watch the video to like get the cringe and the 2000s air just going into your lungs and going right back out and going right back in. Their dance moves are kind of just, and that's kind of it. They have good dance moves. I like their outfits. Skinny jeans, I think they were. Tight shirts. So Corey, while they're singing, he goes, and he also makes this face. Well, he doesn't do the finger thing, but he goes. And Sean, the waitress comes up to Sean and just gives him coffee randomly, too. And Sean's just like, yeah, thanks. And it's just, it's the cringe. Goodbye, people.
So thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Vintage Bubblegum Pod. I'm sorry if it seems a little like all over the place, but there just wasn't a whole lot of information available to me about Nobody's Angel. I even in the interviews with the women and the morsels of things I was able to find, there's not a whole lot of solid information that I can share with you. So I just kind of tried to go more with like how I feel about Nobody's Angel and my opinions on all of the things they had going on. Thanks again for tuning in. Just Vintage Bubblegum Pod is a one-woman show. It's just me. I write, record, edit, produce, social media, which I'm terrible at. All of these things is just me. So if you want to support the podcast, the best way to do that is to obviously listen, share, like, rate. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. I also have a Redbubble if you would like some buttons, stickers, whatever. It's available there to show your support. I also have a Patreon. I'm trying to figure out what to do with the Patreon, so I'm not really 100% sure. I have a Ko-Fi that you can donate $3. I would really appreciate it. For Patreon, if you do subscribe to my Patreon, I haven't done it in a while, but the dramatic reading of boy band lyrics, you can enter yourself into that. You don't have to be on camera. It could just be your voice, or you can send me a video. I don't care. I obviously have lots of plans still coming up for this podcast. I've only been releasing every other week this past month because life has been crazy and hectic, but I would like to cover Model Behavior because I love that movie. It's so good. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.